TLC, Natchitoches, G240, Natchitoches, throwbacks and good vibes all day, every day. We are 95.9, The Bounce, Natchitoches' home for urban vibes. And now, you're listening to Talk Back Natchitoches with Pastor Steve Harris.
Good morning and welcome to Talk Back Natchitoches. Yours truly, Pastor Stephen Harris. And listen, we are supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Happy for you to be sharing with us. So share, like, and invite Lottie Dottie and everybody. And we're going to begin as we always do. Sister Harris, would you lead us in a word of prayer?
Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning, giving you glory, honor, thanking you for another day. Lord, we ask right now that you would guide our footsteps. Lord, that you would lead us in this day. Lord, forgive us for any sins or any weaknesses and all of those things that may not have pleased you on yesterday. Well, Lord, this day is a new day, and we ask right now, God, and we thank you for brand new mercies. We just ask for your leading and guidance. We give you praise and glory now in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you. Listen, I don't want y'all to tell my wife, but I got my girlfriend on here with me today. My sugar in my Kool-Aid, my milk on my cornflakes, and my sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got TJ. Well, listen. I want you to tune in because I am thankful and blessed to have my wife here. And for more than 3 decades, she's been changing lives and through education, counseling, and compassion. And with that being said, Miss T.J. Harris, thank you for joining us. Tell our listening audience, I know you've been on before, and you don't talk a whole lot about your educational accomplishments, and it seems like all of my life with you has been in school and been uh, always trying to further your knowledge about what you do and things like that. But tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, I guess I'll start with the credentials first. I have a bachelor's in social work, a master's in school counseling, an educational leadership, educational specialist in educational leadership, and I'm pursuing a doctorate degree in Christian counseling. Um, I am a school counselor at Natchitoches Central High School. I have worked with the Natchitoches Parish School Board. This is my 31st year. Um, I am the assistant chair of the Louisiana School Counseling Association, and I sit on a few other boards, the um, Child Evangelism Fellowship. I'm one of the board members there. I'm the assistant president, and so many other boards. I don't want to take up the time just talking about um, different positions that I hold.
Uh, in what you do, what is the major, number one thing if someone had to define your position as not just counseling? Uh, what is it you do concerning children?
Okay, so as it concerns children, my job is just there to support and to help them so that they may be positive functioning entities in today's society. Um, in general, I'm not just a person who's given to assisting children. My life consists of helping anyone that I can. Of course, Mahalia Jackson sung a song about if I can help somebody as I travel here and there. You know, if I can just give somebody some encouragement, then my living is not in vain. So I'm not just, whenever I'm helping students, I don't consider just helping a child, but I'm helping the family because the child exists within the family. But today, I really want to talk a whole lot about the importance and the necessity of school counselors. My job, my role as an assistant chair on the Louisiana School Counseling Association board is to advocate for school counselors because they are needed. I don't think a lot of people, even educators, don't think about how often children have experienced just traumatic events. According to research, and this might just wow some people because I just don't think that people think about it until it hits their home. But 2/3 of all youth will experience at least one traumatic event before the age of 18. So that might be abuse. And when I say abuse, you're talking about sexual abuse, physical abuse, the loss of a close loved one. And when I say loss, it's not just death. Children have family members who are incarcerated, a father or a mother that just kind of walked out on them and they're staying with grandma, or some of them are not staying with grandma, they're in foster care, or they've been adopted. It's so many things that the children go through, and we don't, I guess we don't think about it. Some of them have gone through natural disasters. Even when you think about COVID, some of them have lived through COVID. Some of them that are younger may not know anything about COVID back in 2020 and the effects, but it had effects also on the family.
Right.
And if it had effects on mama and daddy, then it's going to affect the children. It's going to affect the household. But when you think about that 2/3, I really want you to look at the numbers. When you think about 2/3 of students or children who have been affected by trauma before the age of 18. And it's something that's experienced more than one thing.
Right.
If I was a teacher and I had 24 students, most classrooms don't have that, but if I had 24 students in my class, 2/3 of 24 would be 16 students. That's over half of your class.
Right.
Over half of my class that has gone through some traumatic event.
Right.
So it's going to be difficult for their 16 children to focus on just reading and just math when you don't even know what they're going home to. One of those children may be going home trying to figure out if Uncle Bobo come over to the house tonight. What am I going to do? Am I going to be able to lock my door? Or am I going to be able to sleep with my mama? Or is it Uncle Bobo that's going to be the one that's watching me? And we're, wondering whether or not they can read and write. And I mean, that is absolutely necessary.
Right.
But what I'm saying is we can't just dismiss the trauma that students have gone through or children have gone through and that they're going through. Because some of them, I mean, it's not like an event happened and life stopped. No, some of them are still dealing with it. I know a lot of people say Tyler Perry movies, a lot of them have some of the same themes where they're talking about like the sexual abuse and stuff like that. Those is real though. Even though, a lot of times people don't want to talk about it, but 1 in 5 girls has been sexually abused. Wow. And this is, you're talking about the ones that just have shared, because there are a whole lot more who haven't said anything. But not only does it affect the girls, it affects the boys. The statistic says that 1 in 6 boys have been sexually abused before the age of 18. And guess what? They got to carry that to school with them. It's not like whatever trauma they experienced or that they are experiencing, that they leave that at home and say, okay, I'm going to come to school and I'm going to put my sexual abuse. That's probably what teachers and educators would want them to do. But a lot of grown people can't do that. They bring their trauma to work with them. But then we expect children to be able to do, to handle all of this stuff. And then, like, you know, just forget all about that. I know your mama left you at home by yourself, or you been abused or whatever, but you got to leave that at home, because come on, we got to do this Common Core. Come on, baby, you got the LEAP test. And so, you know, I understand we can't do that. And, you know, and that's the importance, that's part of the importance of having a school counselor on campus. And a lot of times I know educators, superintendents, whoever, whenever there are funding cuts, the school counselors, those are the ones who are some of the first positions to be looked at as being let go.
Right.
And I know that some of the educational leaders and probably some politicians and legislators and stuff like that say that school is not a place for mental health treatment or anything like that. But, you know, when you think about this, children are required to come to school.
Right.
They're not required in life. There's no law that says they have to go to counseling.
Right.
Even when you look at that, some people don't have the money. Some people have Medicaid, some people don't have Medicaid. Some providers accept Medicaid, some people don't. All of that is just fluctuating and it's just up in the air. Who says that the parent is not working in the evenings, can't take the child to the appointments? You know, so you got all of these barriers. Not only that, if you look in research and the providers, you got a shortage of providers.
Right.
You don't have nobody. A lot of people don't want to deal with the children, or so many liabilities that are involved in dealing with children. But what we do know is that they are commanded by law to go to school. The legislation says they need to be in school. And then when they don't come to school because they dealing with anxiety or depression, then if you didn't go to the doctor to get a doctor's excuse, then that's not excused. That's excuse absence. So we have students who fail classes or have to do attendance recovery XYZ because of mental health concerns. And then there's no one at the school who can you know, tend to it.
Right.
You want to ask any questions?
No, I'm just sitting here thinking about, you know, even children who during their lifetime they have changed address multiple times.
Yes.
And, you know, I could never even fathom being ripped from the community that I came up in, going somewhere else 2 and 3, 4, 5 times, having to start over for new friendship. But we see it in our community where a kid can move in a year's time 4, 5 times.
And, you know, even with school, a lot of times they can't get in contact with parents, or because phone numbers have changed, addresses have changed, like you said, multiple times, even during the school year. And some parents fail to come and update whatever, you know, phone number, address, and so they can't even get in touch with the parents oftentimes. And and as I was talking about the trauma that children experience,
The parents.
a lot of times parents have experienced it too. Like I said, just thinking about some of the movies, but even though it's in the movie, it is true that a lot of times it's a generational thing. Just talk about sexual abuse. Sometimes the mother, hasn't dealt with maybe some sexual abuse that she endured herself.
Yeah.
And then she may not even want to address it. She's not ready to address it because she's put it, kind of like out of sight, out of mind. And then now my daughter or my son is coming to me telling me this has happened. And I don't want to deal. That forces me to deal with my trauma, and so they may not know what to do. May do what their mother did when they told them about it. And that was like, that's what happens in the house. Stay in the house. Don't tell nobody about that.
Right.
But that doesn't take away.
Especially in our community.
It doesn't take away from the fact that the child has experienced this or has all of these different emotions. And and trauma is not the only thing. It's just so many things that are going on with our youth now. You have a whole lot of marijuana use and substance abuse, drug use. You got non-suicidal self-injury. It's so many times children are really considering suicide.
Listen, we're gonna take a break, and I want to know, why is it that you're continuing to have continuing education? Every time I look around, you going back to school, you going to go to a conference and workshop to try and stay ahead of different curves. And let's talk about the latest one where we were able to talk about some startling numbers that schools are going to be facing these things, and what are we doing? Our community, not just the school, our churches, our schools are going to be dealing with it. What can our churches and schools do to help mitigate what we're about to face? And we'll be right back.
Are pests trying to take over your home?
So I know one of the big things is they're talking about in our community how young people are committing suicide in an alarming rate.
Or they feel like there's no way out.
No way out.
Like this, I just got to do it like this. I think a lot of children are just not heard. Nobody wants to talk to them, or they minimize what they're going through. Just because I went through, like I was just using sexual abuse as an example. Just because I went through sexual abuse and I got over it, and I'm doing okay
may not
in
be
life.
over it.
May not be over it. You probably just just got it inside and you burying it.
And that's why I can't stay in a healthy relationship.
And so they, be like, well, you just need to get over it because, I was able to get over it, but everybody doesn't handle things the same. When people...
And we are back. Some people, they go, they get their degree, they come, they work with children, whether it's in a school setting or in a community setting, whatever the case may be. But there are so many different changes that's going on now let me just ask you, why do you continue to?
Okay, so first of all, when I graduated with my first degree, that was back in 1995. Times have changed. Children have changed. Mamas and daddies and parents have changed. Because there are some things that parents allow now that I ain't going to even say. I probably be, I would have got beat down, especially by my grandma. She didn't care, like call the child protection people. But yeah, times have changed. And so, there are a whole lot of things that I started also working in the school system in 1995. The children have changed. One of the things that well, let me go back to what you were saying. So one of the reasons why I continue to go to conferences, workshops, things of that sort, because I want to be effective at what I do. Like, I don't want to just be like, oh, I got a counseling degree. They taught me skills. They taught me theoretical approaches to use. They taught me all of the ideal stuff. But then when I got into the field, there were some things that occurred that a theory can't even deal with.
Right.
So I want to be effective in the things that I do. I want to see what other people have done that have been successful, and not just come up with my own approaches and my own ideas. There's somebody out there who's done it and has been effective with it. So I want to go, and if I want to help people, I mean, some people may not care. They just got a job and that's it. But I go to find out what else is going on, not just in Natchitoches, Louisiana, what's going on in the other parishes. Not only that, because just recently I went to American School Counseling Association conference, and it's a national conference, rather international, because we had people from the Virgin Islands and all kinds of places who came to this conference. So I want to also know, like, what's going on nationally? Like, what are other people doing to be successful? Or just to know, is this just something that's kind of like the norm? Or is it just happening in the South? Or, are other people experiencing this in California? And, all of these kinds of things, so that you can cooperate and collaborate with other people to know what to do. So that's one of the reasons that I go. And I'll be honest, many of the conferences, some people may not go because you have to make your own investment. This particular school year, the Natchez Parish School Board did not have funds to support me in going to a school counseling conference, and that's probably not the only one. Right before I left, I had emailed educational system, whatever, that they wouldn't be able to fund it. But because I want to be effective with the children that I serve and the families that I work with, I'm willing to invest it in. Just the registration alone for the American School Counseling Association conference was like $345. Right. But guess what? I was willing
to make that
investment.
Right.
And not just the investment in me, I'm investing in my children.
Right.
I'm investing in the families that I work with. Mm-hmm. And especially even though I'm nearing retirement, I'm not getting to the point that I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna be here long. I only got 2-3 more years in the school system, so I'm gonna just go with what I got. No, I care for every child, every family that I work with, and I want what's best for them.
Right.
And so that's why I attend the conferences, workshops, anything that's going on that I think would help me be more effective with helping a child. You never know if you're going to save a child's life. Did you have a question? Okay. One of the sessions that I attended, and I really, really, really wanted to go to this session, was dealing with non-suicidal self-injury.
Wow.
And that's like, most of the people just think about cutting, but there are students who beat their heads on the wall, sniff paint. I mean, it's just like a whole lot of things that students and children are doing, grown people probably too, that are doing, where their intention is not to harm themselves. Well, their intention is not to kill themselves. Mm-hmm. It's not to end their life. But many teachers, educators, all of that, and it's many counselors are limited. They don't know what to do when a child, the teacher brings the child in and says he's cutting the child. The teacher don't know what to do. Right. They alarm when they see the cut marks.
Right.
Then they want somebody to bring them to, or the principals want somebody to talk to. But what if there's no counselor there to talk to them?
Right. Right.
And often that happens. because too, as we're talking about that, I'm kind of going in a whole different direction.
Let me say this too.
But sometimes counselors are not even used for that purpose.
Right.
They're used for administrative stuff. They're used for all kind of educational things, and that's part of school counselor role: academic development, career development, and social emotional development. But oftentimes, school counselors they don't even have the time to do the social emotional piece.
But you have to be trained in these areas, because you have people who are in certain school districts and things that's they're teachers and they got degrees in this, that, and the other, but they're over school counselors and things like that, and don't actually understand. It's almost like me trying to represent somebody in the court as a lawyer, and don't have the skills to do so. So I think we have to be mindful of we need certain people who are able to help work with these children, work with these parents, do the proper referrals and things like that. So, because if it's about children not only in academic, it's about children in mental health, and because they come to us in the public school system, not cherry picked. They come as they are, and we have to deal with it. And if we don't deal with it, then is it really about the children?
I think I'll be, completely honest, because I'm representing myself, not a school system, not an association, not a university. I'm representing myself. And after 31 years or 30 years completed, going into 31 years, it seems that the public school systems, the public school system that I work with, it seems that many times we move away from what's in the best interest of the student to what's in the best interest of the school system. And that's a whole different outlook right there.
Right.
When you're concerned about them children, I just said 2/3. This is statistics. This ain't Tawana Harrisology. This is statistics. It will tell you that 2/3 of students will face or have faced some type of traumatic event before the age of 18. And I gave just the example of 24 students, with that being 2/3 of 24 being 16. If you don't look at what those 16 children have gone through, what they're experiencing, then you may not be able to reach them. And then you wonder why they can't perform on a test, or they can't learn to read, or they can't do whatever. Then, part of that is so then you have to have attendance recovery. And you have to, we're just going to give them 50%, and then they can't get a 0. They only can have 50%. You might not have to do all of that. You might could reach them, and they might could learn some things if you would get to know each one of those children. Again, a lot of times people just don't think about it until it hits their own family, until it's my child that's going through, or my cousin, or my nephew, or somebody that's dealing with suicidal thoughts. Oh, we don't need any curriculums or anyone to help with suicide until it's my child that's thinking about killing himself or herself. Or, it's not I don't live in that environment where all of those killings and shootings have happened, but that's somebody's sister. That's somebody, it's somebody's brother. I mean, and sometimes you can hear educators, and I've worked at more than one school, so it's not necessarily the school that I'm at presently, but you hear teachers in the background, oh, the one who got shot, that's such and such brother, that's such and such sister. But what support do they provide for the children?
Right.
What did you do? And so it's just kind of crazy to me. That we don't look at, and it could be my background, it could just be me and how I grew up, but I'm concerned about a child. I want to know, baby. I heard about what happened. Just want you to know that I'm here. If you wanna talk to me.
And so many times these kids don't just talk to know anybody.
No, they
They
don't.
know, just like a animal. A dog knows who's concerned.
That's true.
I'm telling you, they know who concerned and who just dare to draw a check. You know, and we can listen. We're gonna take another break, but when we come back, I want to talk about the society that we live in right now. We don't want to talk about, just like our current administration. They don't want to talk about the negative stuff. They always want to just talk about the positive and sweep the negative under the rug. Don't deal with it. Don't confront it. And that's how it is in our towns and things. We dealing with some negative things, and we don't want to just confront it. Deal with it. You know, if it's happening, don't act as though it's not.
Yeah, it's reality.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
Right. Because let me tell you something. That doesn't make us look good. That makes us look like we are mentally something's wrong with us. You know. And so with that said, we'll take a break and we'll come back.
Are you tired of national media?
Yes, I think that people do just forget about that. If I really realized if I got 30 students in my class and 20 of them have gone through something, wouldn't it be like, but if a teacher don't know, they can't do it.
Right.
And the teachers, their focus
on all kind of other stuff
is
that they
on
got to focus
academics,
on.
that not only am I required to do, but I got people breathing down my back.
That's right.
Saying you got to implement these strategies. When I come into your classroom, I want to see you modeling this. I need to see the children engaged.
We had teachers who were concerned about students. They cared about they came in and you came in and you didn't act as
you can tell the difference.
Didn't act like you normally act.
Yeah.
They like call you to the side. Anything going on with you?
Yeah.
And they were willing that evening to go to your house and see what's going on because they had a relationship also with the parents.
And that's the thing too. Sometimes in the school systems, you have teachers scared to call parents.
Right.
When we have attendance issues, we're like, have you called them?
And we are back. So the reality, and so that was one of the classes that you attended.
I attended another one. I attended attendance. How to get your attendance. You have chronic absenteeism.
And that's all over the country.
It's going on everywhere. You had people from, like I said, all over the country who were who having attendance issues. And so, one of the things was like, what do you do to help children? And then just getting to know families and knowing what's going on in the family. Supporting the family. We can say that I'm just dealing with these children. I'm not here to deal with them mama. Because sometimes in education, because there are so many demands, so many things that teachers have to do, with all these people breathing down their neck, saying, I want to see cooperative learning in your classroom. Do the script like this. You're going to get a lower score because children weren't engaged when I came to observe your classroom. All of that kind of stuff. But we forget about connecting with families oftentimes. And you gotta see what's going on in that family. When you talking about little bitty children in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, and all of that, they only do what their parents allow them to do. Even in junior high and all that, if the parents allow them to stay home, they're gonna let them stay home. And then you get to know your children to find out. Look, is she staying home because she's trying to keep the younger child at home? And that child got to do what their mama said do. I mean, sometimes you want to listen to mama, sometimes you don't want to listen to mama. But you got to think about what's right, and you have to communicate with that mother then and say, okay, baby, I understand that you're not child welfare and all of that, but we got to build a relationship with the family where I can say, well, wait a minute, mama. This baby missing out on education. Do you understand that if he or she missed 10 days, they're gonna be retained, or whatever kind of conversation. Those are the conversations that I have. But I think more people in the educational system will have to do those kinds of things. Wait a minute now, mama, you punishing her to stay home. She missing out on her education, and sometimes the parent needs somebody to talk it through with them, because they don't realize, okay, I understand, because they thinking, shoot, these bills paid, I gotta go to work, the only way I can go to work, somebody got to keep the baby. And so you gotta talk them through, okay, did you know that this resource is available? Let me call Miss Rachel for you at the Title I office with federal funds and see if they have some type of programs that we can get your child in. I mean, there have been times when I've dealt with teen mothers who are like, I want to continue school.
Right.
Other people on the outside, they'll look and be like, oh, she done had that baby, now she don't want to go to school. You don't really know what people's situations are.
Right.
So you have to communicate with them. Young lady, and thank God that it's just not building relationships with the parents and the children. You got to have relationships with your co-workers. We had a young lady who was dealing with a teen mother who her mom keeps her child. And the mom works on graveyard shift.
Right.
She doesn't get off till 7:30. School start let in way before that time. But anyway, she had to wait till her mama get home to get the baby. She couldn't get on the bus with the baby.
So she's going to be taught.
I mean, if we can say whatever we want, we can say she ain't have no aunt, she ain't had no cousin, if she been sexually abused, she might not want to leave her baby with nobody, can't trust nobody. We don't know the whole situation. So the child was going to be late every day. She couldn't get on the bus with her baby, and mama just pick up the baby from the school, whatever. So she was going to be late every day. So I had to contact someone at the school board office to say, hey, attendance department, this is what's going on with that baby. Is there some kind of way that we can excuse her tardiness and stuff like that? Because everybody have different circumstances.
Right.
We have to look at those situations. Had the person who was dealing with attendance not been okay with waiving that, that child would have been, she would have failed all classes.
And would have
due to attendance.
Would have frustrated this child.
Discouraged.
To the fact that, listen, I might as well give up.
Yeah, because there's nothing I can do about this. I mean, and so sometimes, of course, I reached out to Miss Rachel at our federal programs, and then she started showing like some different programs that she had that could benefit the child in going to child care. And and that would have been beneficial, but in this this young lady's situation, she still didn't have transportation because the mama was the only one who had the car.
Wow.
And she doesn't have driving license, so mama wasn't finna leave her car and be like, okay, now when it's time for me to get off, I got to sit here and wait for you and whatever. So really, we ain't even have no way to get the child. So it's just like a lot of situations. That's why I was just talking about by connecting with families to know what's really going on in the situation.
Let me say something about connectivity, because I believe the most important thing with the start of the new year is connectivity.
Yes.
More than that of all the paperwork they're going to have to do and stuff. Do you connect with your students? And the only way you connect with the students, there's going to have to be some connectivity to parents. I don't understand how any administrator, any teacher, any counselors can draw a hatred for a child that may be acting up, acting out, or whatever, and said something maybe crazy to you, and from that point on, you've rejected this child, and you're an adult, So this kid, let me say this. This kid who I took a picture with him.
Mm-hmm.
He stood up, and he was on a panel, and he was talking, and he loves school. He's going to a school in Little Rock, Arkansas. It is a magnet school. And one of the things that he says he likes about his school is his teachers are people who can connect to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, okay, so what? I'm trying to listen to hear what type of teachers he got that can connect to him. He says, we got a lot of black males in our school system that connects with me. I see them as me, and I see that I can be this and I can be that. See, I've got a whole lot of black males. Most of these schools all over the country, even if they got black males, they do everything they can to get rid of them. I'm talking what I've seen over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to if they're in administration, we don't mind them coaching and things like that. But listen, let me tell y'all something. I say what I say, and I mean what I say. If you really want to see your system grow, and this ain't about whether a white person or a Hispanic person can teach a black kid. It ain't about that. It's about identifying.
Right.
There are some coaches who do well with black boys because they can identify with them. But I know when you don't identify with me, because my own children will say things like, but Daddy, you don't understand. What they saying is you don't identify, and you got to let them know, I do identify, son.
Yeah.
I've been there before too. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Or I understand what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody doesn't experience a situation the same way. Just because one person say they lost their mama and the other person say that they lost their mama, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the exact same situation. So you do have to listen. You do have to hear. But like you said, that connectivity piece is very important. And I will say that majority of the teachers that are working in the school systems, they are trying to connect.
That's right.
They're trying to do what they can, but sometimes they're just limited in what they can do. That's why I talk about the importance of having a school counselor. You can't expect the teacher to do all of that and then to talk to you about, baby, what's going on, and you sad and you whatever. It might take a whole hour for a child to talk and open up about what's going on. And that teacher can't take time from their classroom. But oftentimes, if there is no school counselor, or if there's no one that they can go and talk to, well, the teacher or the administrator is left with doing that. Because sometimes the teacher like, I can't do it. She just hollering and crying, and I don't know what to do. Especially in the elementary schools where the children throw tantrums. Or,
we listen.
That's a whole.
We listen. We just dealt with that, and I think we got it. I think we got it fixed because we got the right people that's there to help fix it.
But like I say, support, because I remember one time. You had, well, more than one time, where you have little children that they run.
Mm-hmm.
They run,
they run us.
And here's the thing I know we forget about, and this will probably be a whole nother show, but we forget about the function of misbehavior.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred Adler, he was back in the day, he had theoretical approaches and ideas and stuff like that, but he talked about there are 4 functions of misbehavior. It could be that they're looking for attention.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that it's a power struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So and so many times people will just let that go. They'll get into that power struggle with them, and they're trying to get power.
Yeah.
And then there may be revenge. They're trying to get revenge on somebody
Mm-hmm.
or something or some situation, or just feeling inadequate.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the four major functions of misbehavior.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to take the time really to look at the child and see,
Which
okay,
one
like
of those
what
four?
is it that he's wanting?
Mm-hmm.
Because depending on what the function of the misbehavior is, determines how you should respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's attention seeking, then I'm finding ways that I need to praise the child.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding out if it's a child that I see at school and I think they're attention seeking, I might find out what are your favorite chips, what are your favorite snacks, stuff like that, and they'll work for that attention. So it's just an approach. With a child who's dealing with power struggles, you might have to give them choices.
Right.
But like you ain't got to argue with them, whatever. Okay, either you're gonna do this or you're gonna do that. And this ain't even personal. When you come back, it's still gonna be good. But this is the choice. If you're gonna choose that you're not gonna sit down and you're gonna go to the office,
Right.
okay. Well, that's your choice. Okay, Mr. Principal, there's someone who says he's not wanting to be in the office, be in the classroom right now.
Right.
He's not in a mind frame to learn. And I'm not even taking it out on you. It ain't personal or whatever.
Right.
I'm not finna try to make you sit down.
Right.
And
right.
learn. This is my class. You gonna sit down. You gonna no,
Mm-hmm.
because that's not gonna help. Every day, that's probably gonna be a child that you're gonna get in the struggle, because they're gonna constantly let you know, you ain't my mama, you ain't my daddy, you don't tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's taking away time from just from your day. But I'm just saying, so even with parenting,
And so
it's not just
you spend 15, 20 minutes of instruction time battling one or two kids, and like you said, half of the children in there are battling and dealing with different things.
Yeah.
And if I don't identify these kids early on, we're gonna have a rough time.
And like you said, just managing, because I know we went to a workshop one time and a guy was talking about how, he did a lot of jokes in clowning class.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably attention seeking. So one day she said, because he does so well with his jokes, okay, if everybody do their work Monday through Thursday, Friday, we're going to have our show. We're going to let Johnny tell his jokes. We're going to have whatever, 5 minutes. And if that can keep the class under control and do their work or whatever, hey, it's a win-win situation.
We're going to take a break in just a few minutes, but I'm reminded of a young man who come in, Dr. Jackson. Dr. Jackson come in. He does such an awesome job because he's been all over the country dealing with different ones. But we had an administrator, and I'm glad he gone. You tell him what I said.
Okay.
I'm glad he gone because I heard him tell somebody else that he didn't like the guy and things. Because I don't know why he didn't like him. But Dr. Jackson
probably just couldn't identify with him.
Right. Dr. Jackson was just, but he was real.
He's going by
tell
what he's
people the
experienced
truth.
and what he's
He
witnessed.
would tell people the truth about how you have to handle different children from different. He worked the South. He worked
East Coast,
West Coast. He dealt with different ones in different ways. But they didn't like it. And whoever it is who listening to me, that's the type of stuff that we do when we don't like folk, but yet they are affected. Now watch this. We had a group that if folks had known who these people really was, they would have rejected these folks right away. But I got a whole lot out of them, even though I knew who they were. I knew their background, and I listened to them. They are doing a tremendous job in the community in dealing with children with violence and acting out and things like that, doing a tremendous job. But just because if we knew who they were, first of all, we would have been saying, how did they even get into the Louisiana? I mean the Southern Regional Conference, Leadership Conference. If they ever found out who they were, and I ain't finna tell.
Well, I know we're about to take a break, but I want to share one experience and then kind of share some things about Negative Central that are coming up.
Okay.
Because I know you ain't got. I'm telling you, this show would take a long time. We about to take a break. Or you want me to go ahead and tell the experience?
You taking over the show.
I ain't trying to take over the show. You shouldn't have asked me to come.
Okay, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, she done talk over the show.
I'm just trying to find out what I'm supposed to be doing. I didn't want to start on the experience.
And she be talking, and she say, you got something you want to say?
That's because I know you because I'll be sounding like I'm preaching if I just keep going on.
Just keep going. I'm just there to guide the guests.
Well, you should have told me that.
You seem like you know where you going, so go
I don't know
on.
what I'm going to talk. I'll talk. It be like I'm telling the whole sermon. Can somebody just say amen? That's it.
Lord Jesus, she done took over the house.
Well, me is you and you is me.
Okay, all right.
We are one.
I don't know about all that. Yeah, there's a whole lot of things we want to talk about, like what can parents do now to better prepare their children for success, both academically and emotional.
It's really a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and it can't it can't be just on the teachers' end.
Right, because we
parents
know that when you have parental involvement in schools, the kid does a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Moses and Francis, they doing the thing. I'm telling you what the Lord love to hear, son. Doing funerals. And we are back. You about to say something? I don't know where you.
I was just going to tell you about experience because we were talking about connectivity. We were talking about the functions of misbehavior. We were talking about people just listening to a person. And this is one of the experiences that came to mind, and I didn't want to start on the experience and then not. That's why I wasn't trying to take over the show. But anyway,
what I feel.
When I was working, I'll never forget, I was working in elementary, and it was a little Caucasian girl who came into my office. She was getting in trouble a lot with her teachers, and she would make outbursts. But one day, she made an outburst. She just said, that's why I don't like y'all. That's why I don't like being at this school. Well, the school that we were working at, or that I was working at the point, was a predominantly black school. And so, of course, the teacher was African American as well. So she kind of was like, offended. And she was like, somebody gonna have to do something with this child or whatever. And so she did. She said, yeah, I don't like black people. And so, of course, I could have gotten offended. I'm the only school counselor there. Mm-hmm. So I can't just I'm not going to talk to the young lady. She say she don't like black people or whatever. But anyway, as we continue to talk and have conversations, came to the point, and initially she didn't talk, whatever. Of course, I'm like, she did say that, okay. And then she used the N-word. I could have been offended, but I wasn't, because again, I understand that all behavior, every behavior, has some type of function, especially this misbehavior. So I was just talking, and eventually found out that the young lady her mother it was Caucasian, but she was dealing with a African American male, like as her significant other, and she didn't like how he was hindering her mother, well, the mother and her biological father,
Right.
from having conversations and being together. Of course, I don't know all the dynamics of that, but I did find out that part of the reason why she was saying I don't like black people is because she thought that this black man was keeping her mom and her mom and dad from communicating and being with one another,
together.
and she wanted them to be back in a relationship, but you know, the mom had told me that there was some domestic violence involved, XYZ, that the child didn't know all of these, but this was an elementary student.
Right.
Who,
but this is the things that this baby had to deal with.
But she and I became, you know, she started talking to me, opening up, and, you know, was like, you're the only black person I like. And, yeah. And it was more about the fact that it was she could connect, and she knew that I cared for her and wasn't even offended by something that could have been offensive to other people, just not taking it personal. So I did want to share. That's one of many stories, but that story specifically came to mind when we were talking about that.
And so you from elementary, junior high, junior high. Middle school.
It was middle school, but it still had 6, 7, and 8.
Right, and high school.
And been at the high school for the most of the time.
Which one you like the best?
I think at this point I like working at the high school level, but I mean, what I have learned is that children just want love. Children want attention. Children want to be heard across the board. I mean, so I won't say that I'm more effective at any level. It's just that the high school children are getting ready to go out into the real world, and two, that they can communicate a little more, and you can get them to think, helping them to understand now that a lot of the decisions that you make, you can't just blame it on your mama or whatever. Look, you getting to the point you can do all of this yourself. I'm not gonna. Yeah, your mom has some responsibility over this attendance, but you can get yourself up. You can put on an alarm clock. When you want to go somewhere, you gonna get ready. You gonna be ready to go. You know, so that kind of thing, because they can take a little bit more responsibility.
When your career in education is over, what do you hope people will say about the difference you made in their lives as young people? And how is that? Because I know sometimes we're walking, and I don't say much. Like just the other night, we were at what's the name of the restaurant there, and then the kid comes up and says, "You remember me?" And so, how does that make you feel?
Well, I feel good if I've made a great impact on someone's life. I feel like, you know, again, as I've said, my motto and theme in life is if I can help somebody as I travel along, then my living is not in vain. So I feel like, okay, if I help that child, okay, then my time with Nags Fair School Board wasn't bad. It wasn't in vain. And so the good thing is I get to hear that a lot. And so I feel like I have made a difference. Even though we call it retirement, I know that I won't be retiring, because I'll still be working with children. I'll still be working with families. Like, I'm going to do that until I can't do it no more.
Right.
And that's probably until the Lord called me home.
Yeah.
Because I found out some people say that I have this infectious smile. They love my smile. So if I can't say nothing, maybe I'll be able to smile.
Well, you know, I saw a young lady that we both know. She's a Navy
tell about Negative Central.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
trying to tell
you better go ahead.
Okay, my husband said I'm trying to take over, but since I'm on here, I wanted to put in a plug for Natchitoches Central because we have open house coming up, and I don't want the parents to miss it. Open house and what we call early access is going to take place on August the 6th. Seniors, take your pictures. Your pictures coming up on August the 4th and the 5th. So look at Natchitoches Central Facebook. It'll tell you what time that you're supposed to come in. The boys come in on August 4th. Girls who are seniors, you come in on August the 5th. Mamas, daddies, go ahead and get their hair right and all of that. So yeah, so they won't miss their photos.
You wanna say I love you?
I love you, and you can't do nothing about it.
God
Baby.
bless y'all. You want to do the whole thing.
No, I just wanted to talk about some stuff that trauma stuff, because that's really a big